First of all, good morning, everyone. Myself, Lahari. I'll be the trainer for Snowflake for this batch. And today we will just discuss about what is Snowflake and what is the curriculum I'm going to teach in our training. Everything I'll show you. And after that, we will enter into the main classes. So first of all, am I audible, guys? Can someone please confirm?
Yes, Lahari.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, Kiran. So first of all, what is Snowflake? So do you have any idea like what is Snowflake? Is it an ETL tool or data warehouse or database or reporting tool? So what kind of technology or tool it is? Any idea or any guesses?
I think it's a cloud data warehouse.
Okay. Any others? Yeah. Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse, cloud analytical data warehouse. That means which the data warehouse which is hosted on specifically on the cloud. So again, Snowflake can be hosted in any three of the cloud platforms: AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. So any of the cloud platform we can use and host our data which is available in the Snowflake data warehouse. So which one we are going to teach in the training module? Snowflake with Microsoft Azure. So this is the combination I am going to teach in our training module. For the rest of the combinations, Snowflake with GCP, Snowflake with AWS, that I'll provide the queries and the details to you, like whatever the topics required for this cloud combination. I'll share the queries, but we will not do practically in our regular classes. Only we will practice Snowflake with Microsoft Azure concepts. Now, okay. So first of all, what is data warehouse? Again, if you guys have idea about already, it's fine. But data warehouse is nothing but like a group of data or different parts of information is for a specific organization will be maintained at one particular place, which is called as a data warehouse. So different parts of information of an organization. Let's say any organization, if we take, like, we have multiple information, multiple types of information. Let's say any company, IT company, if we take, like, we have to maintain the employees information, finance information, shift rota information, and transportation information, everything, these kinds of information we have to maintain. So if we are maintaining at one particular place, everything, the data about this is maintained at one particular place, which is called as a data warehouse. So here in data warehouse, what will be available? So under the data warehouse, databases will be available. Under the databases, we will create the tables. So in these tables, the data will be stored in the form of rows and columns. So whatever the different aspects of an organization, data will be available in the tabular format under a database. Again, database is created under a data warehouse. So data warehouse is nothing but group of different databases or related to different aspects of information is called as a data warehouse. So again, in data warehouse, we have two different types of data warehouses: transactional data warehouse, analytical data warehouse. So before that, I'm not sharing anything currently. Just it's a overview, like what is cloud analytical data warehouse. I'm just saying it so that's the reason I'm not sharing anything currently. Now, again, analytical data warehouse and transactional data warehouse. So, transactional data warehouse is nothing but current information. So, current in the sense today's information or a week information, a month information, a year information is called as a current. So, it depends on the organization to organization. Some people will refer current means only 2 days of information, 10 days of information. So it will not contain like historical data in the transactional data warehouse. If we go to the analytical data warehouse, it will contain current plus historical information. So what is historical information? 1 year we will say current means what about the previous year? It will be history. And 10 years of data, the last 10 years of data will become history. So here in analytical data warehouse, historical plus current information will be available. So that's the reason Snowflake is called as a cloud analytical data warehouse. So what is the use of historical information? So transactional current data is available. So current data we can maintain, right? What is the use of analytical data warehouse to have the history information? Yes, we will just take the one example. Like we do all, we have mutual fund stocks. So how will you buy a mutual fund or a stock? Based on the line graph which is happened like 3 months before or 1 year before. So if that mutual fund is like a past of 5 years, you will check from the last 5 years how it has been growth or decrease, what happened. So you want to check the previous 5 years of data. So at that time, we will use the analytical data warehouse and get the data, and that has been shown as a line graph. So to have this decision making or forecasting the things, we need historical data. Only with the current data, we cannot rely, okay, this is a good one, we can buy it. We cannot say it. At least we need past 2 years of information or 3 years of information. So how we will get past 2 years or 3 years of information? If we are maintaining history, then only we can get that data. Otherwise, we will not get that data. So whenever we are maintaining the history, that will be called as a analytical data warehouse. To analyze the data, to forecast the data, to determine or to make a decision, we will use the analytical data warehouse. So Snowflake is purely cloud analytical data warehouse. So can we use Snowflake as a transactional data warehouse? Yes, if you have a budget and if you are really currently if you are going transactional and future it will become analytical, yes, there is no problem. We can use Snowflake as a transactional data warehouse. So even like we can maintain the history. So this is about like why the name cloud analytical data warehouse. And people have some misconceptions about Snowflake. So Snowflake as an ETL tool or a reporting tool, we will think like this. I mean, in the market, it is a misconception, but not. Snowflake also handles some part of ETL, basic part of ETL. It can able to do through UI itself. So that's the reason people have this misconception. Snowflake as an ETL tool. No, it cannot directly connect to any transactional database or any other API mechanisms. Only if you have a data in the file or in a local or your cloud, then that can be processed and loaded into the table. A basic ETL will be done. So that also we will show how it works. And other thing is Snowflake is also a reporting tool. No, it's also a misconception. It is not a reporting tool. It's purely data warehouse, analytical data warehouse, cloud analytical data warehouse. So any doubts until now?
It's like it is not a ETL tool, right? It's just a
Mm,
data warehouse, analytical data
yes,
warehouse. The basic
yes.
ETL tool like extraction, transformation, and loading will be happening.
No, no. See, it's purely cloud analytical data warehouse. Just basic part of ETL can be done. Only loading part can be done. No transformation, no extracting. If let's say you have a data in your local on your desktop, then you want to upload that data into the Snowflake table, yes, we can. Only that part we can do. If you want to transform the data, if you want to do any other calculations through Snowflake UI, we cannot do. We have to load the data into the table, then you have to write the query for your transformation. But if it is an ETL tool, there itself you can transform the data, basic cleansing you can do, all these kinds. So just basic part of ETL, Snowflake will have can manage.
Then what is the Snowflake? Which tool will be replaced by the Snowflake? Like database or any other? Snowflake is a
Sorry.
replacing of any. Snowflake is a replacing of Oracle database or It is like a cloud.
See, yeah, it's first of all data warehouse. Snowflake is a data warehouse. Under that, we will create the databases. Okay, so it's a replacing of the existing all traditional data warehouses. So I'm not saying Snowflake is the first one which is in the market. Like this is the first data warehouse which is in the market. No, we have other data warehouses also, but we are seeing some challenges, and it is not more flexible than the other data warehouses. So we are migrating to Snowflake. So what are the basic challenges we are seeing in the uh, other data warehouses? So we will call it as a traditional data warehouses. That means which are hosted on the on premises, not on the cloud. So on premises in the sense a physical location will be available, and there we will maintain CPUs, RAM, memory, storage, everything will maintain. That is called a physical location. From there we will access the data, we will get the data. So here the what happens, like floods or any disaster happens, like it is tough to recover the data. So instead of that, if we are migrating to cloud, like let's say Snowflake, we can migrate it to cloud, and in the cloud everything is maintained. It's not a physical on premises location. So this is the basic difference, like existing on premises traditional data warehouses and the Snowflake. And again, is Snowflake is only one in the cloud market? No, we have many again. So but we are having some more flexibilities than the other cloud data warehouses. So that's the reason we are migrating to Snow. So these differences, like we will see in the first class, like the data warehousing concepts. We'll see exactly like what are the challenges having existing in the traditional data warehouses, and how Snowflake has been overcome those challenges. We will see.
Oh, okay. Okay, right.
So any others? So today I am just explaining the curriculum because you want clarification, like what are the topics or concepts I'm going to teach in Snowflake. Then only you will be clear, like, okay, this is the curriculum. So that's the reason we will discuss in detail about this curriculum, and let's see about each topic, whatever I have mentioned here, the topic that will be a class for us in everyday training. So first of all, introduction and history. So like we need to understand what is Snowflake, what is the evolution of Snowflake, from where we came to Snowflake. So first, what is the on-premises evolution? Then again, cloud came into the market. What are the challenges we faced in the cloud? Again, what is the remedy for this cloud? Again, there also we are facing challenges. Now Snowflake is in the market. So that differences we will understand between the introduction and history. So what is the main thing about Snowflake? Next, self-registration. So theoretical, you don't require any Snowflake self-registration. But anyway, like theory only 20% will be there out of complete training module. I am saying only 20% of the topics are completely theory, like architecture, these kind of things. Then the rest of the things are the practical things only. We will not, I mean, theory will discuss what is that feature, what is that object, and how it being used. And then we will jump into the practice. So for practicing the things, we need Snowflake environment, right? So here the Snowflake environment, how to take the self-registration, like how to log in into the Snowflake, how to set up the account, everything we'll see in the self-registration class. Next, Snowflake is available in multiple flavors, like a flavors presents. Actually, Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse. So that's the reason no need to install, configure anything, nothing is required. But in the UI basis itself, Snowflake has been divided into three UI flavors. One is classic console, the other one is the snow site, and the other one is the Snow SQL. So Snow SQL, it's a black screen, like we have a command prompt, right? Like a black screen. Maybe if you guys aware about Unix and Linux backgrounds, there we will write the black screen, we will write the commands and create the objects. Whatever the things we want to do, we will do with the commands only in the black screen. So whoever comfortable in the black screen, maybe from that backgrounds, if we are migrating to Snowflake, then they can work the Snowflake NoSQL UI. Sorry, it's not a UI, it's a command line prompter. So there we can work. And again, we have UI basis, two UIs are there. One is classic console and the snow site console. Here, classic console, I personally prefer, it's a far flexible than snow site, but the Snowflake company replicating whatever the flexibilities available in the snow classic console into the snow site, and classic console going forward already it has been stopped, I mean decommissioned. Now only into the market, like we have snow site UI. So there itself we will create the objects, we will play with the data, everything we'll do with the Snowflake snow site UI. So classic console with the trial version, I cannot show you. Only we will work in the snow site UI and also the SnowSQL UI. So how it works, how to log in into it, how to configure the thing, automation of the login, everything we'll see in the classes itself. But this particular concept is like to explain about the UIs, how many UIs are there. This is the Snowflake UI class. Next, so after all this, like we need to understand how the Snowflake architecture is designed, how many layers of Snowflake architecture are there, and also how it fits in the shared disk or shared nothing architecture. Everything we'll see in detail, like casting part, how it works. Everything we'll see in the Snowflake architecture class. Guys, whenever if I'm going fast, let me know. I'll just make it up. Okay. Next, virtual warehouses. So this is the concept of providing the compute resources. We have a class for virtual warehouses. So just namesake creation of the virtual warehouses according to your requirement, whatever the size of the warehouse you want to create. Yes, we can create, but we need to understand, okay, this is my requirement. This type of data is there, this type of users, which type of policy we have to use, which mode we have to use, what is the size of the warehouse we have to consider. Everything we need to understand, then only we can just creation is not important. What type of usage, according to the usage, we have to select the policy, we have to select the mode. So that we will see in the virtual warehouse concept. So up to here, like registration, UI, architecture, warehouse, everything is theory. At least virtual warehouse we will see practical and theory, but all the other above things are theory classes. Next, so first of all, first Snowflake, what is the prerequisites? Should we know any other technology to handle the Snowflake? Yes, at least we need to know, not at least, we need to know SQL. So structured query language. If we know SQL, then only we can handle the Snowflake classes. So here again, this SQL is mandatory. So that's the reason once the batch is framed, if the guys doesn't have SQL background, like whoever have not having SQL background, I will teach all the SQL concepts, or not all the SQL concepts. Whatever the concepts which are required for Snowflake, that concepts we will teach. If everyone are aware of these SQL concepts, whatever I'm going to teach, then we will skip these classes. So this is the concept. So first of all, SQL basics, like what data warehousing concepts and the commands, DDL, DML, DQL, DCL commands, how to use that commands, we'll see, and join concepts. So we have how much importance is there for DDL command. The same importance is there for the join, because end of the day we will not get the data in a single table. We have to club the multiple tables and get a finalized information. So for that we will use the join concepts, inner join, outer join, all this we will discuss. So these are the SQL classes we will discuss, and SQL functions anyway we will discuss in our regular classes. We will use the functions, all type, not, I mean, not all types of functions, majority of the functions we will use in regular classes, so that it won't be a separate class, because this is not purely SQL training. So that's the reason we have SQL functions in our regular classes. At that time I'll explain. If you are aware these SQL concepts, then these classes get skipped. Otherwise, I'll teach. So at least one person is there who doesn't know SQL classes, then we'll teach this. Next, containers, databases, schema, and tables. So from here onwards, it's purely practical, theory plus practical. So here we will understand how the Snowflake hierarchy is there. What is the first level of object? Then what is the second level of object and final level of objects? So under which we have to create. So that information we'll see, and here we will see like types of tables. So in Snowflake we have different types of tables. We'll see what is the usage of each table type, how it works, how it will manages, access wise, everything we'll see here. And along with the tables, we will explain the constraints also. So what are the constraints can be applied on a table? How many unique constraint, null, not null constraint, primary key constraint? What are the constraints we can apply? Everything we'll see in this class: containers, databases, and schema and table. Next, file loading through UI. So I have mentioned Snowflake can handle a basic part of ETL. So that is this concept. Let's say you have a structured file, semi-structured file. Structured file in the sense CSV file is there. How can you upload the data from your local into the Snowflake table? If you have a JSON file, semi-structured data, how will you upload into the Snowflake table? And once uploading the data into the table, you have to convert that semi-structured data to structured data. So again, we are not using any ETL tool or third-party tool for converting semi-structured data to structured data. It's just a function we have to use. With the help of one function, we can convert JSON data into structured data, which is nothing but in the form of rows and columns. Next, paragraph file. So this is also again one more semi-structured data that we have to upload into the Snowflake table, and we have to convert that file data into the structured data. So that also can happen with a single function. So this we will discuss in the file loading through UI concepts. So Snowflake can handle any type of data by seeing this class. Next, Snowflake micro partitions. So once we load the data into the table, at the backend, how the Snowflake is segregated or organized. What is the is it a columnar format or row format? Everything we'll discuss in this micro partitions. This is purely theory class. We need to understand the concept. Nowhere we can see like here the micro partition is there, 1, 3, 4 is there. Nothing it will not be visible. Just it's a theory class, but it's a very important class. If we understand this concept, the next four topics we will understand. Otherwise, we will, I mean, concept wise, you will understand. But if you get the questions like, I have this scenario, how it works, you will not do that. So if you understand the Snowflake micro partitions concept, then only we can answer the questions on the next topics. Otherwise, it's impossible. So very important topic, the Snowflake micro partitions. Next, data cloning. So data cloning in the sense like normally in the clone word is a taking the backup of the existing object. So here also the same thing, take the backup of the existing table or a database or a schema. But so what is the difference between the other data warehouses and Snowflake? Yes, other database warehouses also take the backup. Here also we will take the backup at zero cost. Whatever the backup you are taking, it's a zero cost. So that's the reason we will call it as a zero copy cloning. And again, like if it is a zero cost, does it create a new table, a backup table? It will create, but again, it's a virtual copy. So to have a virtual copy, how it works at the backend. So again, it dependent on the micro partitions concept. Based on this concept only, the data cloning will work at the backend. Technically, by seeing it's just a backing up of the existing object. But at the backend, how it works, we need to understand. So that we will see here. Next, time travel feature. So this is the one of the feature which is not available in the existing data warehouses and also the cloud data warehouses. So what is time travel feature? Let's say we are in November 21st, but I want to see the data of November 10th. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. If you take the backup of the table on November 10th, you can easily retrieve the data of November 10th. Let's say I haven't created a backup on November 10th. Then even though I want to see the November 10th data, how is it possible? With the help of time travel feature. So we can travel back to some date and see what is the data on that particular day without taking the backup. So without taking the backup, you can travel back to that day and see the data. Here we have a limitation. We can travel back only for 90 days. In between these 90 days, you can travel and see the data. So there won't be any problem. So how we have to apply this time travel feature on a table, and how to retrieve the data uh, by using the time travel feature, and how many methods are there to retrieve the data. Everything we'll see in the time travel feature class. Next, Snowflake role hierarchy. So if any data warehouse or any databases are there, we have to provide the restrictions on the access on the specific objects. This user is authorized to use only these objects. This user has these many responsibilities. So this particular major role, superior role needs to be assigned. So this concept is called as a role hierarchy. So here we can create users, we can create roles, we can assign on the objects, we can revoke the permissions on the objects from the user. So everything we can do here. So this particular concept acts as a DBA, database administrators. In traditional data warehouses, the DBA people are separate, the development people are separate, support people are separate. But whoever learns Snowflake, they have to handle any kind of activity, either DBA or developer or support. All the three activities can be done. So how it is possible? Because DBA entirely different, right? We don't know how to do everything. Here Snowflake has provided that much flexibilities. Through UI also, you can grant the access. Through query also, you can grant the access. So very easily, we can grant, recreate, everything can be done through UI also. No need to learn SQL also. Through UI also, you can handle. So for that reason, any person who is working on Snowflake needs to handle any type of role here, DBA, development or support. So this is the role hierarchy concept. Uh, any doubts up to here? Okay. So whatever the topics I'm telling, like maybe it's very new to you guys. These are the Snowflake features. Each feature we will be going to discuss in our training classes. So don't confuse like what are these? These are the features which are available in Snowflake. Next, other feature is data share. So what is this data share? Let's say if I want to sell my data, my organization data to the legally only, not illegally. So if I want to sell my data to the other organization or external vendor, what I will do, either I will import the data and send via SFTP mechanisms, or I'll create an API call and the data will be called through API mechanism. Still we see some security challenges are there through this mechanism, existing mechanism. So that's the reason Snowflake has been developed a concept called data share. That means if the vendor is having Snowflake account, I can easily share my Snowflake account data with that particular Snowflake account. Let's say vendor is not having Snowflake account, we can create reader account for the vendor and we can share the data between the Snowflake account versus Snowflake account. Then it will be very secure. There won't be any spillages. Very secure data will be transferred the other vendor. If it is a database account, Snowflake account versus Snowflake account. So that concept is data share and reader account. So whoever not having Snowflake account, we will create reader accounts and we'll share the data. So how it works, how to create this data share reader account through UI, through query, we will see in this concept. Next, views. So again, like in existing data warehouses also, we have the same views concepts. It's not very special like than the traditional data warehouses, but only one part here is special is materialized views. So here non-materialized, materialized views are there. So this materialized views work in a different manner. It will be far faster when compared to the non-materialized. So that things we will discuss how to create that, how it works. Again, these views also dependent on the concept of micropartitions. In the case of materialized views, that we will understand how it works. Next, the other topic is SnowSQL. So as I mentioned, Snowflake is having three flavors of UI: Classic Console, Snowside, and the other one is SnowSQL. So first SnowSQL, we have to install one exe file. Just one exe file we have to install, and we have to open the command prompt and connect to the Snowflake account. That how we will do, we can like how to install the SnowSQL. I will explain, and we'll see how it works. Then once installed, every time if you have to log in or connect account, it is bit tough, right? So we need to automate this connection mechanism. So that also I will show how to automate the SnowSQL connection mechanism using the config file. Then, once it is done, the concept of internal stages and external stages will come. So, what is stage here? So, stage, I mean, Snowflake stage is a place where we can host our files. Let's say you have files in your local, then you want to upload into the Snowflake environment, then the Snowflake stage comes into the picture. The stage concept, we have to upload the file, we have to download the file. To upload and download the file, we have to use the put get commands. That put get commands will not work through the web UI. That means Classic Console or Snowsite UI, it will not work. We have to use SnowSQL mandatory only for that concepts, and the rest of the concepts in both the places it will work. There is no problem. Only put and get will not work in the web UIs. It will work in only SnowSQL. So for that concept only we are installing everything we are doing. Now here internal stages, like again three types of internal stages are there. What is the purpose of each internal stage? In which criteria we will go for the user stage, table stage, or named stage? How to create that, everything we'll see here in the internal stages. Next, so after completion of the internal stages, now we'll come to the cloud related topics. With the help of the cloud, we need to work on the some topics. So that is we'll discuss. First of all, I have external stages. Now the file is available in the cloud, any cloud, GCP, AWS, or I mean Microsoft Azure. If the file is available in the cloud and you have to get that into the Snowflake environment, then we will go with the external stage concept. Before that, we have to take the Azure account. So again, Azure account, like is it paid version, paid thing? No, Azure also provides a trial account. So you can use the trial account and do your activities without any issue. All the activities, whatever we are doing with the trial account itself, with the free trial account itself, we can do here. There is no problem. So I'll show you how to take the Azure trial account, everything step by step, and then we will take the trial account. From there onwards, we will discuss external stages concept. Then once external stages is completed, we will discuss about the topic of continuous data load. So continuous data load is nothing but streaming of the data. So once the data file is available in the cloud, automatically the data needs to be pushed into the Snowflake table. No scheduling, no refreshing, nothing. Automatically it has to come from the cloud to Snowflake table. Live stream need to be done. So how it works, how to set up this snow pipe, we'll see. Like we have around 13 to 14 steps are there. So we have to set up a few of the steps at cloud level and few of the steps at Snowflake level. Then we will, once we set up, we can sit calmly. Automatically when the file comes, the Snowflake table gets loaded. So that also we'll see how it works. So this is the concept of snow pipe, streaming of the data. Now, one more concept is external table. So we can create tables with the help of cloud information. So table will be available in Snowflake, but all the maintenance will be done by the cloud. So how to create that, how it will refreshes the data, everything we'll see in the external table and data load class. Next, stored procedures. So here the stored procedures can be written. Again, what is the use of stored procedure? If you have a multiple queries and all these queries needs to run sequentially one by one, you can keep all these queries in a single named object, which is nothing but stored procedure. And if you just call that stored procedure, one by one, the queries gets executed. So here the Snowflake has designed in such a way the stored procedure can be written in 5 different languages. Whoever comfortable with which language, they can write this stored procedure. So the languages are JavaScript, SQL, Java, Python, Scala. Let's say you guys are very comfortable in writing code in Python language. You can write stored procedure with Python language. Let's say we are comfortable in SQL language, Snowflake with SQL we can write down. So in our training, most of the cases we will use Snowflake with JavaScript or Snowflake with SQL. So that I will show the how to write JavaScript. So should we learn JavaScript also? No, it's not required. It's just basic information. Whatever I am explaining in the class, that initialization declaration, only that part is sufficient for writing a stored procedure. Not much is required. So here we will see error handling, how to handle the error using try catch, begin and end, how we can do everything. We'll see in the concept of stored procedures. So up to now, any doubts, guys?
Lahari, during the initial discussion, you said we'll go with the Azure trial account. Why do you want to go with Azure only?
No, no. See, according to the organization usage, anyone can go with the AWS or GCP also. But our training module is designed with Snowflake with Microsoft Azure, because as a time restriction, we cannot explain all the 3 clouds. Snowflake with GCP, AWS. So we are teaching only Snowflake with Microsoft Azure. And if we know how to work with concepts like Snowpipe, external table, external stages in the Azure, the similar thing will be available in GCP and AWS also. Maybe the naming conventions. So here we will call it as a container. There we'll call it as a bucket. So it's a difference will be there. But if you understand the concepts with the Azure, then it is very easy to work on the AWS or GCP. So for that reason, I'm telling, I'll share the queries, whatever the queries related to Snowpipe, external stage, external table with the AWS and GCP. I'll share the queries with you guys, but we'll not do in a training method. Training.
No. No.
Next, we'll do the go for UDF. So some built-in UDFs are there already. System defined user defined functions are there. So let's say you want to sum two values. What we'll do? Select two values, sum of two values, or 20 plus 30. We'll use the plus operator. So these type of built-in functions are already available. A huge built-in set is there. But let's say sometimes the only with the help of built-in functions we cannot achieve our task. So at that time we need to create our user defined functions. So how to create that? Again, UDFs also can be written in five different languages: JavaScript, Java, SQL, Python and Scala. You can take any type of language and see. But we will be teaching JavaScript and SQL, both the things. And scenarios wise, like we will work with scalar UDFs and tabular UDFs. What's the difference? How to write queries? How to execute that UDF? Everything we'll see in the UDF class. So few topics, whatever like I have kept, let's say stored procedure topic itself, I have categorized as a one topic, but here it takes 3 days of time or 2 days of time. So to explain all the JavaScript error handling or without error handling, how to write JavaScript procedure, everything it will take in one class. And with the help of SQL language, again, it will take one class. I mean, it's not mandatory, like one topic will cover in a single day, in a single hour. It will take more than single hour also. But to categorize, I have just designed like this. Next, Snowflake stream objects. So again, this is one of the newest feature which is available in Snowflake, but not in the other data warehouses. So here the stream means, let's say if we have a delta load or incremental data, then to capture, this is the inserted record, this is the updated record, this is the deleted record, we have to write our queries and identify based on the primary keys or something, we have to identify and uh, identify and say this is the inserted record, this is the updated record. But with the help of the stream object, like it's just a creation of the stream, and it will take care of whether it is really insert new record or updated record or deleted record. It will take care of. No need to write queries and do anything. Whatever on the table, what delta load is happening on that table, on top of the table, we will create one stream. With the help of that stream, it will identify what is the inserted updated record. So how we will use, how many types of streams are there? So again, we have three types of streams are there: initial streams, append only streams, full mode streams are there. So what is the usage of each stream, how to create, and how to use this stream data, how to consume the stream data, everything we'll see in our stream classes. Again, it takes 2 days of time because we have different modes are there, three types of streams are there. We need to understand each and everything, how to consume the data, everything we'll see in the stream class. Next, task object. So here, as I mentioned, Snowflake, whoever learns Snowflake, they have to handle DBA development and production support. So here, the task object is related to support activity. So once your queries are ready, you have to schedule that queries. So on a particular time, which time zone, any time zone. So this type of things, usually we have a third party schedulers are there. So in Snowflake itself, we have a inbuilt scheduler is there, which is the task object. Whatever the schedule you want to do, we can create a named object called task, and that task we will define what is your query, which schedule you are going to do. Everything we will define and create that task. Automatically based on the time zone, it will start running that particular query. So here again we have different types of mechanisms. So cron mechanism, non-cron mechanism, predecessor dependency. So each is there, like we will understand what is the difference between cron, non-cron, predecessor, everything we will see in detail how it works, what are the limitations we will see in the task objects. Next, information schema. So Snowflake itself maintaining the metadata about all the objects. Let's say whatever we have discussed the topic, task, stream, table, view, snowpipe, external stage, internal stage, about this audit information, metadata information, when it got created, in which database it has been created, how many rows are there, like what is the time travel policy. All this information will be available under the information schema objects. So this is like we need to understand this particular concept, because let's say if you are get stuck, like where is this object, what are the how many columns are there, if you get stuck for any requirement, we can go to this information schema object and get the information. So that's the reason we need to understand how to use this information schema. So for that, a separate class to explain all the information schema objects. Next, clustering concepts. So this is like once micro partitions are created, let's say sometime if it is a huge data, historical data is available, sometimes the ordering of the data will be degraded. So at that time, we need to order the data, sort the data using the clustering concept. So we'll see how to cluster the data, how to recluster the data, what are the charges incurred, which type of tables we need to go per cluster, how to identify the clustering key. After defining the clustering key, is this a proper clustering for this table? Using the clustering depth, we will understand how it works. So this is the clustering concept. So this is again dependent on the micro partitions concept, clustering concept. Next, caching. So caching in our traditional data warehouses also the same thing is available. So here also we have three types of caches. What is the usage of each cache? Everything we'll see, and in detail like how to identify this query is using this particular cache data, this particular database data. We will see in the caching concept, and we need to understand the page called query history. So how the query history needs to be used, what are the filter conditions, everything there itself we will see in the caching and query history class. Next, here ETL in Snowflake completely stream to task everything like from the source to target. So which is nothing but this topic is nothing but project explanation. So we'll pick a project, a scratch project, and we'll start what is the source, how many layers of tables are there, how we will schedule those things, how we'll write stored procedure, once scheduling like why, how we will monitor everything here in this particular topic. We will explain the project. So the project explanation basically I'll not do at the first step or last step in the training. So I'll take like after completion of 80% of the topic, let's say streams, stars, stored procedures, tables, views. Once everything, the main concepts are completed, I'll explain the project so that we can use the same features and develop our project. So after 80% of the topics completed, I'll take this project explanation. Then uh, again we have 20% of the topics. So meantime you can practice, and if you have doubts we can clarify in our regular classes. So I have given that 20% of the time here. So this is the project explanation concept. Now you have to monitor the data, like usage of data, how much data has been used for storage, computing, how many credits has been consumed, how much we have to pay. This we will see in the monitoring and billing class. Next, database replication. So we have a concept called data sharing. Like we can share the data to the external vendor or internal vendor very securely with the data sharing. But in the data sharing, we have a limitation called we can share the data between same platforms. Let's say I am in Snowflake Microsoft Azure and my external vendor also in the Snowflake Microsoft Azure, then I can share the data very easily. Let's say external vendor is in Snowflake GCP, I cannot do the data share. So to overcome that challenges and the other challenges which are available in the data share, we are going for the database replication. So here we are replicating the data completely, complete database we are replicating and maintaining the data. So let's say I am in Microsoft Azure and I want to replicate the data to GCP. I can do that with the Snowflake database replication concept. So this is the database replication. And the Snowflake snow site, earlier I used to explain in the classic console. So that's the reason snow site, a separate topic is there to see the overview of the things, everything. Uh, so that's the reason we have a separate class. Now it is not a separate class because classic console is decommissioned. We have to use mandatorily snow site only. So this won't be a class. In regular, on a regular basis, we are seeing all this snow site features using everything with the snow site only. Next, data load through any ETL tool. So Snowflake is a data warehouse. We need to get the data from any transactional database. So Snowflake directly cannot connect to any transactional database. There we have to use the ETL tool. So to explain the in the project itself, we will get data from the transactional databases. So how we will get the data through ETL tool, I'll have a separate class here. So either I use ETL tools called Talent or Fivetran and get the data from the transactional database to the Snowflake table. What is the process? We will see here in the data load through any ETL. Next, Power BI connection. So once you are done with your complete finalized information, then you have to give the data to the reporting team. So how they will import the data, that concept we will see. So here data load through ETL and Power BI connection, it's just basic things like how we are getting the data and how we are giving the data to the reporting team. Only these concepts we will see here in the Power BI connection. No making of graphs, nothing. Just how the data will be imported in the Power BI, that only we'll see here. And the last topic is data masking and resource monitor. So we can secure our data like row level, columnar level security. So row level anyway we'll do with the materialized secure views. So here columnar level security with the help of data masking. How we will apply the data masking at column level, we'll see. And the resource monitor in the sense, the credit limit. If we cross the credit limit, and we have set already like 10% of usage, after 10% of usage of my limit, I need to get a alert. So that type of resource monitoring also we can do both at Snowflake level and virtual warehouse level. That we will see how to create this resource monitoring, everything we'll see there. So this is about Snowflake curriculum as of today. So any doubts here?
Lahari, can you help how to do the certification and course completion of this course?
Yeah, we will have a session for that.
And coming to the monitoring tool, what kind of monitoring tool we need to use?
What type of monitoring you are asking?
Yes, yes.
Sorry,
I mean,
I
in the
mean
market, we have different monitoring tools, right? Airflow, Autosys, um,
uh, no.
TWS.
It's not required actually. So Snowflake is having internal scheduler. Okay. If we create a task object through query only, we can monitor the data. Okay. Let's
Oh,
open this. So it's an internal tool, scheduler. We don't need like any third party schedulers. So here we have a task history. So even you can monitor here, or through query also you can monitor. We have a task history Snowflake object. It's a table. So there you will see like how many are run, how many are stopped, cancelled, failed, everything you can see here through UI itself.
okay. So with the help of Snowflake, can we connect to a big data environment?
No, we cannot. We don't have that facility. So if you have data in the big data and you want to import to Snowflake, you have to use the ETL man.
I mean, while processing the data in the Spark environment, we'll be loading the data into Snowflake tables. So that
Mm.
connection and all I'm talking.
No, through Python you can connect, but normally we cannot do this. We have to use ETL too.
Yeah.
Okay. Any
After
others have
Lahari,
doubts?
after
Yeah.
completion of this course, we are able to do like the Snowflake developer, any kind of a role we used to do, right?
Yes. Yes. But
And
only one effort you have to do is like practicing the things. So if you practice on a regular basis, then it will be very easy to work in Snowflake, either DBA or support development. If you are aware of any concept like which I'm going to teach, then you can handle Snowflake very easy.
okay, Snowflake is a replace of like nowadays it is a kind of only migrations, right? So from on-premises to the cloud, it is the best choice, Snowflake.
Yes.
Remaining
Yes.
the competitors are like GCP and all is there, right? But we are going to the Snowflake only.
Yes.
Any any extra feature as a Snowflake, that's why we are going like
Yeah. Yeah.
recently.
I mean, yes, whatever I have discussed, see, time travel feature is not available. So with the help of time travel, with the less cost, we can travel to 90 days without taking backup. We can travel to 90 days back and see the data. So it's a far flexible, right? without taking everyday backup, we can see 90 days of data. We can recover the data. So that is one concept, materialized views. So with the help of materialized views, we will achieve very faster data when compared to the non-materialized views. So this concept is not available. And again, the streams concept, so which is not available in the existing cloud data warehouses also. So easily we can capture the changes happened on the table data. So that is the stream concept, and the rest of the concepts are available, but still we have challenges there, and we are doing here. And also the handling of the structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So Snowflake is doing, other data warehouses are not doing. So likewise, we have some unique features which are available in other cloud also, here also, and some which are not available in other cloud and here.
And you are telling about the snow pipeline and the snow pipeline. This thing is
Yeah.
like a Spark, the Spark thing which we are doing, like this thing, right? The same thing we can implement it here, like the data more using the user defined functions or Python, these things. The data can be changed anything which are required like this thing. And we can load the data in the table, right? The same with
Sorry,
the
I am not. Okay, sorry, I am not aware of this Spark thing. Maybe sorry for that. But Snowpipe is the concept. Like you will get a live streaming of data. Let's say in your cloud, you will get like within seconds you will get a files, either CSV, JSON, whatever kind of file you are getting. That data immediately within fraction of seconds, it is available in the Snowflake table. It will be available in the Snowflake table. That is concept, that is called, that is done with the help of Snowpipe, live streaming of data.
okay, processing will be done with this thing.
Yes, process. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any
And,
others?
and how is the
Yes.
demand in the market? Like, so if you learn the Snowflake and the job opportunities and current market, is it
See, current market in the sense, we already knew it's a freeze period, right? Up to Jan, Feb, it's a freeze period. Now, I believe there won't be any calls. Still, we have calls, but not that much frequent like apart in the non-freeze period. So we have very good scope in the market because everyone, even whoever starting from the scratch, they are opting for the Snowflake because of flexibility. Here we have, because everything whatever we are doing through UI. So let's say you don't know SQL, at least you know very basic SQL. Then also you can handle Snowflake very easily because every object you can create through UI also without knowing SQL commands. So through UI also we can. So that's the reason, more flexible like usage wise, and that whatever the features we do have, the according to that, and the cost wise also it's far flexible. So that's the reason people are migrating to Snowflake. I mean scratch projects and even migration also. So that's the reason there is a huge demand. I can easily say blindly, still 5 more years we have a scope here. And after that, if Snowflake still develops their features, then it will be there in the market. Otherwise, we need to switch to the other technologies or tools. But we can easily say blindly, like 5 to 6 years, we have scope in the market.
okay?
Yeah. Is this program Snow Pro certification oriented? So it's not that we are just, I mean, we are working on each topic, like how it works, the development wise, how we need to do, how to develop the query, everything we are oriented on that wise. But if it is a certification wise, still you need to prepare, like after this, still 30 percentage of your preparation needs to be there. So already we knew like what is this topic, what is this view or stream, so how many types are there? So whatever the challenges we are facing when we write a stream, negative scenarios also we will explain. After that, some part of theory will be there, because Snow Pro certification, nothing like a practical thing. It's a completely based on the theory examination only. So that 30% you have to do your effort. So I cannot say 100% it is a certification oriented program. So 70% you can achieve, because you will understand what is that feature, how it works, how to write query, what are the challenges, everything we'll see. And the rest 30% you have to see in the official page. Okay. So one more thing, like here, whatever the topics, we will start from the practical session onwards. Everything like we will, I mean, let's say we are in a real time work, in an organization we are working. How you will get the requirement? How you will get the story or task? Then based on the task, what is your approach, what are the things you will develop, how you will achieve. So in that manner only we will go and create the objects. Like each topic, let's say I'm going to teach today table, a temporary table. So if I get a requirement, if for building that temporary table, I'll create a requirement. Based on that requirement, my approach is the creation of the temporary table. So we will work in that manner only. So in future also, if you get the requirement, you can easily correlate, okay, this is the requirement. We have to use this type of table or this type of stream here, because this is the requirement. So in that way only we will discuss. That is from practical sections. So once all the theory completes.
So where do you maintain NoSQL script,
Snow sequence.
NoSQL stored procedures, or any scripts in Snowflake? Where do you maintain the version?
Versions, I mean, we have to use the repository tools only. You can take the backup. So am I answering the correct thing? Like what is your, sorry, I didn't understand.
So this is regarding version controlling, or if you want to move the code from development to production.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
how do you maintain these NoSQL scripts, like stored procedures, whatever the main
Okay.
statements you are?
Okay. So here, yes, we can use the Jet repository and maintain the versioning of the objects. So the same mechanism, like using the any versioning tool we can use and do versioning of the things. But internal version controller is not available in this.
Okay. But in real time, we still use the version controllers like this.
Yes, yes, we can use JIT version control.
Okay.
Okay, so in our training, am I showing that one? No, I'm not showing that one. So only I'll show like in between the, I mean, in a one Snowflake account, we can just create in the form of databases, development, UAT, and production. So there itself,
Mhm.
I'll show how the migration can happen. But between the Snowflake accounts, I am not going to. It's a very rare.
But in real time, we'll still use Snowflake for migration, or we use external tools.
No, no, no. Snowflake itself. We will use the Snowflake only using the CI/CD processor, like either with the Azure DevOps or any other CI/CD tools. We will migrate the.
Okay. But that CI/CD won't be part of this course curriculum, if I'm not wrong.
No, no, it
Okay.
will not.
Okay.
Larry, the Snowflake is the same as the Databricks, like what we'll do, like this thing in the, or it is like a different way.
It's a different way. So, I mean, you won't find these all features like in the Databricks. Uh, Frankly speaking, I'm not sure about much about Databricks, so I cannot comment on that. But obviously, you have many features when we compare to the Databricks or Synapse database. So we have many features in Snow, additional
Okay.
features.
It is like a competitor of Redshift or Oracle,
Ah,
like this thing, right?
yeah,
In
yeah.
the Snowflake.
Yes, yeah. So earlier Oracle
BigQuery.
is a on, yeah, Oracle is a on-premises data warehouse. Now it's slowly converting to cloud data warehouse. So it's a competitor to Oracle Cloud Data Warehouse, Teradata Cloud Data Warehouse. Now all on-premises are also migrating to cloud, not to the other clouds. They are itself building the cloud data warehouses for their technologies and maintaining the things. So yes, it's a purely competitor for other cloud data.
Okay, they know separate their own separate cloud they are maintaining this for this thing. But Snowflake is depend upon the AWS, Azure,
Ah,
and BigQuery, right?
yes, yes. Snowflake
Okay.
doesn't have their own cloud platform. Maybe in future it can have.
Okay.
So you mean to say that Snowflake is only for processing. The loading part and all taken by either any of the cloud, right?
Uh, I mean, loading part, yes, we have to use the ETL tools and we have to load the data from the transactional databases. Yes,
No.
Snowflake is. Mm,
No.
mm,
What I'm asking is, while creating
mm,
the Snowflake account, we need to go with any of the cloud account, right? Either AWS, GCP,
yes,
or Azure.
yes,
So
yes.
here
Mm,
in Snowflake, we can do the only for processing. The complete
yes.
storage part is done by any of the cloud, right?
No. Processing and storage will happen in Snowflake. These will be hosted in the cloud.
So mean data will be stored into cloud, right?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Snowflake doesn't have cloud. It has to take any of the other cloud platforms, three cloud platforms.
Let me one small doubt. Like anyhow, this AWS has Azure is having the cloud platform, right?
Data
Again, the
warehouse.
customers
Yeah.
will yeah. Again, the customers will want go for the separate one like the Snowflake. Any other like in the it is having the in Azure only having their data warehouses like this thing.
Mm.
Again, the customers will go for the Snowflake or why they choose to choose the different. The same account will
Yeah.
have their queries.
Yes, obvious. See, it's based on the requirement. What type of requirement they do have. Still, Azure Cloud Data Warehouse cannot do whatever the thing Snowflake is doing. Let's say we need that requirement. So we cannot go with the Azure Cloud, right? So cost wise, more or less, both the Azure Cloud Data Warehouse and Snowflake, it more or less, I'm saying, not exactly, it will be similar. But whatever the features which are not available in the Azure Cloud or AWS Cloud Data Warehouses, which are available in the Snowflake, they cannot achieve there. So that's the reason people will go to the Snowflake. So based on the features which are not available in the other cloud data warehouses and available in this Snowflake, then we will opt for the Snowflake.
Okay.
So the timing is only on weekdays or weekends?
It's weekdays from Monday to Friday, but
Okay.
the project explanation it takes like 5 hours. Okay, so at that time only I will prefer like it needs to be a continuous thing, right? At least 2 hours, 2 hours. So I'll prefer
Yeah.
Saturday thing, but everyone agrees, then only I'll take on Saturday. Otherwise, it will be in a 1 hour class.
Oh, so it's basically 35 or 35 training days.
Yeah, 35 working hours. So if we skip
Mm.
SQL classes, doesn't require SQL classes, it will be reduced to 32.
Okay.
Will it be same time every day the class? Yes, 7:30 to 8.
Did you provide the recording sessions?
Yes. The recording sessions, anyway, you will get the credentials for your account ID and you can log in and get the recordings and the material, like whatever the PPT I'm sharing over the explanation, and whatever the queries we have used, that queries I'll share over the email.
Is this a lifetime access or
Uh,
any tentative period?
that I cannot comment. You can check with the Visualpath team.
Uh,
Okay. Any others?
And you will be after completing the course, it's supporting like this interview questions and resume creation and all these things will help us.
Yes, yes. I will, after the project completion, like 80% it is done, right? Then itself I'll share all the interview questions and sample resumes, like one, two or three, according to the experience wise. I'll share the resumes. So you can just edit your own things and do things. Or like let's say you are got stuck in editing these things also, then we will connect personally and sort.
Oh,
Okay. If we don't have anything, we'll just wind up today's class and see into tomorrow's class.
yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day.